Christopher Newport posted first-place finishes in 8 of 16 events to claim the CAC Indoor Women's Track and Field Championship last winter. The captains totaled 161 points to run away with the title, while Mary Washington narrowly edged out Wesley for second place. CNU junior Anuma Ezenwa put together a dominating performance for the captains, claiming 2 individual first-place finishes, a relay win, 2 third-place marks, and a 5th-place finish to post 35.5 points to the captain's total. Ezenwa and Wesley freshman Kiana Mency were named co-athletes of the year for their championship performances. Mency swept top honors in the 60 and 200-meter dashes to help the Wolverines to their highest-ever team finish. Ezenwa represented the CAC in the NCAA Indoor Championships, taking 10th in the pentathlon. Now let's take an inside look at each of the CAC women's track and field teams entering this Saturday's championship meet at Christopher Newport.
As with every year, we're trying to get the most out of every one of our 90-plus athletes on the team. Each one of them has their own individual set of goals and training processes that they need to go through to get there. If we do a good job with that, then we should be able to compete well for the conference team titles, hopefully maintain our #1 rankings in the South-Southeast region, qualified several athletes to the national championships, and most importantly, continue building the team culture that allows us to get the best out of everyone. Graduated Jess McClellan, who was a national qualifier in the 1500. She was also, helped lead the distance group along with Julie Mockimer. Jenna Elliott is an All-American high jumper for us and really helped that group come together. Had several others, Caitlin Miller. We've got 6 returning All-Americans, which is great. We have Anuma Ezenwa and Jenny Westerholm, both of whom were national qualifiers in the heptathlon last year and part of our national qualifying 4x4 relay. Leah Richardson ran a leg on there as well. Logan Harrington was a national qualifier in the 800 and she anchored that relay. We've got a few rookies who have already made a name for themselves. Hannah Bullen in the distance group helped bring our women's cross-country team to nationals for the first time, and she's getting herself going here on the track as well. A few others. Our throwers actually, we've got a really good recruiting class on the throw side, and they're already rewriting our all-time list. Lily Cummings, Kayla Jones, Hannah Shoemaker.
Overall, our goal is to move up in the standings. We want to score a lot more points, and obviously we do that. We move up in the standings. No specific place. Our women's team was missing some people last year at our conference championship, so we should be able to move up and reach both of those goals. Morgan Carroll was a graduate that we lost there. She was all CAC in a couple of different events through the year, so she's really the key loss there in running and jumping. We lost 2 throwers, Christina Smith and Cassie Chisholm. Top returner is obviously Alexis Bush. Been all ECAC, all CAC in a couple different events. Long jumper, but also helps us with the sprints and relays. Amy Virostek is a hurdler for us, a versatile runner. Keeps getting better every year, a very hard worker. She's a sophomore. Tiffany Cancel is our best weight thrower right now indoors. She also throws a shot for us. On the distance side, we have Bryn Alston, who's a senior, who can run everything from the 800 up into the 1500 meters for us, run some relays for us. Casey Columbus is probably also a very strong distance person for us. Also might be doing some high jumping for us this year. We've got a number of new women on the team. That's one of the reasons why I think we're going to move up and score a lot more points. We're a lot more diverse. Kayla Truesdale is a very versatile sprinter, short 60-meter dash all the way through 400 meters. Very instrumental in the relays. Elaine Saxton and Zoe Harris have come out, and I think they're going to help us in the throws. We've got a couple of new people in the sprints as well. Brianna Wilson is showing some real talent there. Big thing for us is those newcomers are going to help us cover a lot of events and help us with the relays. Well, we always have kind of adopted the mindset that we want to be our best at the end of the year. Now, that means May for us, really, for the outdoor season. That doesn't mean we don't want to try to peak and do well for the indoor championships, because we do. But our training is set up to be our best at the very end of the year. We have a very tough schedule usually. Most weekends we are competing against Division I, Division II competition. So far this year, that competition's been actually a little harder than it has been in some other years, which is a good thing for us, you know, because D3's got some excellent competition, and we'll see that. But the D1, D2, you tend to have some more elite people in some of those events, and that helps us out ultimately. Toughens us up, I guess you could say.
Well, certainly our men and women are looking forward to the upcoming indoor track and field championships coming up on the 21st of February. We've certainly had some very good performances going into the championship. We competed down at Christopher Newport and had a couple more school record sets, so we feel like a lot of things are going well for us. At the same time, we certainly need to get better and improve. We have some areas that we definitely need to improve upon if we're going to perform well and do well as a team. On the ladies' side, Claire Harrington has certainly led the way for us this year. Seems like every weekend she's eclipsing her own school record in the pole vault. But she certainly will be challenged at the conference meet. There's a couple other ladies right there behind her that are knocking on the door, so nothing is given for Claire. Our throwers continue to impress, but again, the conference has gotten a lot better this year in the throwing events. So once again, our ladies are definitely going to have to step up in that area to do well. Janelle Moore in the sprints has certainly shown the ability to compete with the best in the conference in the short sprints. Our middle distance women, we're getting there, but we're not quite there just yet. Hopefully, by the time we get to the conference championship, we'll be able to put together some good performances in those middle distance events. And then, of course, there's Tegan Young, who leads the conference in the distance events. But again, we saw up at George Mason the other week, there's people in the conference that can challenge her. So, like I said, everyone's going to have to show up on that day, and we just hope that we can really put it together for the conference championships. We always talk about how, you know, when you get to the conference championship, that's really when you need to rise and shine, and that's when the cream, you know, rises to the top. So hopefully we'll be there.
On the women's side, our focus will be on setting personal bests and competing to the best of our ability while gaining experience for future CAC seasons, really getting a taste for what the CAC is like. We're hoping to get a couple ECAC qualifiers as well. On the ladies' side, Caitlin Gould will lead the way for our women in jumps and sprints. Our schedule was very balanced, but very competitive at the same time. As a new program, I tried to provide everyone with an opportunity to participate while challenging some of our more competitive athletes. We set an aggressive schedule with open meets where there were D1, D2, and D3 teams. Along with our competitive schedule, we're spending a lot of time focusing on recruiting.
My goals and expectations for the championship on the women's side is just to try to improve what we did last year. We were fourth, not too many points out of second place. We were only 15 points. But we're still a young team. We don't have any seniors. We have only a handful of juniors, mostly freshmen and sophomores. So they're still growing. But I feel that with this experience, it's going to help them later down the road when they become a little older. So good young team. They're ambitious. They work hard, and I'm looking forward to the championships and seeing what they can do. Key performers for our team this year in the really four areas that I see. First, we have the jumps. Ashley Jackson and Sarah Taylor have broken the school records. Ashley in the long and triple jump. Sarah Taylor, of course, in the pole vault. We also have Christine Randall. She's a freshman, is right there with Ashley in the long and triple, doing awfully well. I'm proud of her. In the sprints, we have Chanel, Kelsey Larger, and also a veteran, one of our veterans, Lauren Snyder in the sprints. I think will shine through. Throws, we've got some new people. We have a freshman in Nicole Bear, and also a transfer just this past semester from a Division I school, Paige DeMont. Paige is really a talented, and then of course Kate is doing a great job helping them transition into the throws. Distances, of course, we've got Laura Hartman, who's a veteran. She's a junior, and then of course a very talented freshman, and Jessica Lane. So I think that's the key people. I know I'm probably forgetting somebody, but what I've seen have been performing very well to this point. Competition is very good at the top. There's 3 schools that I think are competing very well at this point. Christopher Newport University, you got University of Mary Washington, a traditional powerhouse in this conference, and then Wesley again has risen up just like the men have. Then we have ourselves and York and a few others. Frostburg, Penn State Harrisburg are right in there as well, but we don't have the depth that some of those other teams have at this stage of the season. But I think we'll be better. We've got some good javelin throwers. We have 2 of our women that have been working very hard. Kylie and Shannon. I think we'll see some dramatic changes come outdoors with our placing as far as a team.
The women's season has gone pretty well. We've started out December 7th up at Ursinus, and then we started late in January. So we are starting to get our feet underneath of us now. We're starting to get in running shape. The kids go home for 5 weeks. You hope that they do what they're supposed to. They come back, you got to get them back in shape. So we're starting to get there. We have a lot more left to do, but we're making progress. Well, obviously, we returned the Rookie of the Year last year, and Elijah Streeter. We fully expect her to do big things at the conference meet. I know she'll give it her best. You can count on that. Young sprinter named Alexia Mitchell is very, very fast, especially the first 50 meters. And Ashley Morris, I believe, for a long period of time was seeded 1, I think, in the conference standings, but has fell back to 2 or 3. But if she runs up to her potential, gets a little more consistent, I fully expect her to do very well at the conference meet. We have some other young 400 runners, freshman Angel Hall, Quidera Minus, and then most recently, Danae Carter and Chiquita Deline have began to step up. Our mid-distance runners are 400 runners here, so we still expect to see Denise Deserve compete. Denise is better designed for the outdoor track because of her long stride and height. She makes more for a steeplechaser outdoors, but we just use the indoor just to get her in as good a shape as we can and move her outdoors, where I think that's where she'll compete the best at. But want to see Denise compete, and we want to see Asia Russell compete. The women's jumpers here that was an area that I felt really good about coming into the season. We had a national qualifier last year outdoors in Kamiko Webb, who's battled a lot of injury this year. She's missed a lot of training during the whole first semester. Leslie Austin and Anissa Teach were brought in to jump far. They are beginning to adjust a little bit to the college level versus the high school level. It's a little more demanding, but they're improving little by little, and hopefully they will do their best at the CAC. Well, we have one women's pole vaulter here, Taylor Ray Danforth, who actually was my first ever commit here at Wesley College. So she's developing very well, considering the circumstances she has to face every day as a vaulter. She's been improving in about 6-inch increments each meet, so we look for her to continue to break her own school record.
Last year the women were 5th. We were out of 3rd place by about 28 points. So our goal this year is to move to 3rd. In actuality, I would be happy with anything above 4th, but I think definitely 3rd is doable if everybody comes together that day as a team. It's a couple of the usual suspects, Jess Miller, Caroline Delaney, Emily Cronice in the middle distance and distance events will have a strong impact for us. Last year, I believe Jess got over 20 points for the team, so we'll be looking for that again this year. And then Bria in sprints has been pretty solid for us throughout the year, and last year she did really well in the 60s, so we're looking for her to show up again this year. Erica Quenter, definitely in the hurdles, has been looking solid all year, so we'll look for big things from her. She's also dabbled in the high jump a little bit, so we'll see how her last few meets go before conferences. And then Alicia Dillman in distance last year, she was a little bit injured and wasn't able to do the end of indoor and outdoor, and this year she's healthy and ready to go. Guys, we've been looking for school records every time, and the girls have also gotten 5 school records, and little improvements here and there, definite PRs, getting solid workouts in all year. But the biggest focus has been the process, not necessarily the end game, but the process and taking the baby steps that we need to take so that when conference time gets here, we're ready and we can execute the plan.